Hey everybody, Scroft here. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25. We're back on our Oak Bridge Let's Play series, originally known as Calmsden, and we're going to be cracking on in a second and getting into the episode. But first, I want to shout out Lancey Boy, who's doing an outstanding job currently for placeables and British style equipment. If you're into that stuff, keep an eye out for these in front of me. I've been sent these by Lancey. They are grain sheds, and they are outstanding. Honestly, the stuff that Lancey's doing right now is just excellent. And I know that he's got a few things on testing, so hopefully all this stuff that you're seeing now, I've already showcased this cow shed. There's two variations to this. There's one with the pasture that you can see right in front of us, and then there's another variation to this which has just not got that pasture there. But it's insane. This shed is perfect. It's costly. It does cost a lot of money. So it's like an end game goal. But if you're building a farm to start off with, highly recommend placing this, especially if you're doing it like, you know, on Oak Bridge or UK map or something, because it just suits you so well. And honestly, Lancey Boy, mate, you're setting the standard. You can see that you've hit new levels and new heights, and you're already, you know, one of the top modders before anyway. But the details into your work now is just incredible. I'm properly impressed. So thank you so much for sending over this stuff to showcase. Really proud to do it. But yeah, superb shed. I've already showed that cow shed, but that's going to come soon. Like I said, there is some stuff in testing, and hopefully it'll all drop soon. But you know, our mod hubbers currently, there's quite a big waiting list of mods to be tested. So I'm not entirely sure when it's going to drop, but just, you know, it's good to know that it is there, ready to be tested, and hopefully from that it can drop soon. But let's talk about these, because there's two sheds basically. They each have got a variation where you can have solar panels on or not, and they're actually really affordable. They're not too much money at all in comparison to that cow shed. This is something you can start off with and afford. So the 60,000, but then if you want to put, if you say just customize it and put on solar panels, it's an extra 182,000. Now that's because, you know, solar panels are expensive, but I imagine by doing that, you're going to give yourself some passive income each month. Don't know exactly how much that is to test out, but just keep in mind that you can spend a good whack on putting some solar panels on. There is quite a lot on each side, and then from that you'll be having potentially some passive income that's pretty decent. But yeah, £60,000 originally. I want to just talk about that cow shed because, like, I keep saying it's expensive, but I just want to show you how expensive. Like 800,000 for that one. And yeah, it's a lot of money. And then you got the 600,000 one, so you're paying 200,000 for the pasture on the side that just sticks out there. So it's expensive stuff. But these sheds, 60,000, I think that's not bad at all. And I love the spiral staircase. It's such a focal point to it. And you can go up, have a look at your grain shed, and stand up. Now, I have tested this. There is a missing collision on that, so you fall through it just at the top. So I'll let Lancey know. And I'm sure he knows already. I'm sure this has all been sorted out and sent off. But yeah, there's a little missing collision. We can walk up and I can show you, because obviously the spiral staircase is technically something, you know, it's technically really cool, and people are going to be doing that. But yeah, you stand up here, open the door, or you try to, and you fall through. But that's just literally a simple job. And like I said, it's very confident it's been sorted, but it's just the top, that meshing, just dropped through. So I didn't want to go up too much, because you can see that I'm falling through. But anyway, there's two bays to it. Really good detail. I've got a light switch over here. And I think if you're doing, say if you want to do grain in a shed like this and store it, it's just perfect for it. You've got two bays for it. You can do your, you know, some root crops, or you can do some, you know, standard grain. So you got barley and maybe some wheat, so depending on what you're growing. But it's a big shed and it'll hold quite a lot. I also think it's a good price. If you compare that to like a silo, which is the alternative, 60,000 is, you know, pretty good for a silo, so not bad at all. So you've got two colours to this that you can get. So like I said, each one's got the option to put solar panels on. This is like the grey-blue version. You can see there's a lot of dirt on the shed that adds to the effect. But then you've also got the green version, which I think is probably going to be the most common one, isn't it, really? I like the look of that. It's just, I think that shows the dirt more. So if you're looking for a used kind of run-down farm, or just one that's a bit weathered, then that would be a perfect one for that, because it really does show off that kind of moss and dirt that's included in the shader. So it's like, I'm sure it's like part of the building shader, unless he's put his own custom kind of shader to it. Whereas this one, it doesn't show up as much. Now, you could go and edit that. I don't think there's an option to have a clean version to that version, but you could technically, if you're good with GE, you could technically reduce that if it is a shader. So, I mean, if I wanted to do like a fresh one, I'd just reduce the shader, but again, not entirely sure on that. I'd have to go into GE and check it out, but man, they are outstanding. I really am impressed by these, Lancey, so well done, mate. And it's, again, some really good British equipment, British-style sheds, placeables, coming to Mod Hub soon by Lancey. So we've got some really good stuff to look forward to, and when it all drops, I'm sure a lot of players are going to be using this, and we'll see some screenshots flying around of people building their own farms and using these sheds. So yeah, big shout out to Lancey boy. Thank you so much. Give some support to Lancey in the chat, and keep an eye out on Mod Hub, because these will be coming soon. Right, so we're back into our Let's Play series. Jumped over to the other save now. Got a few things to update you on, and I feel like I've been away again for a bit, but it's just the fact that just taking it easy a little bit in comparison to what I was doing before. I'm only going to be doing one episode on this series this week. Same with the small holding. Can't really do too much. Yeah, I can't sit at my computer for hours on end. But soon, a couple of weeks' time, it'll be much better. But anyway, let's give you some updates. I've got some interesting things to talk about first, but I wanted to just talk about this section, which I spoke about kind of combining these two fields. So I've done that, removed the trees out, and you can see kind of like used a cultivator, sorted this out. I used the create fields mod with cultivators, basically, just made my life easier. And then you can see 3 islands in around the electrical lines that kind of run across the field. So 5 and 7 are technically combined. We do need to record, though, the courseplay route around that to find out the new size and all that stuff, like I've done in previous videos on mainly FS22. And I actually did this on 22 as well when I was playing on Calmsden then. I combined these two fields. Now, the dream is to combine 6 with 5 and 7 and make a nice L-shaped field. It's going to be massive, but that is the dream. I want to focus more on arable than I do dairy work. Now, this farm is a dairy farm, and I'm going to have it, and I've got the mod on currently that automatically sells milk, which is something I'm not doing on my small holding series, but I'm going to be doing it on this one. And yeah, so that's technically just going to be look after the cows, feed them, get milk, generate money. But the main focus is going to be arable work and making our money from there. So it really is a focus on an arable farm, if anything. That's just like side money. It's a side hustle going down just to try and generate some good cash. Also, the beef stock. We'll talk about that in a second, because obviously we've had 1.6 update and it's fixed the feeding. Something I mentioned about previously, but I'm thankful, if anything, that it has fixed it. So we can now just feed our cows, whatever, and even if they're grazing, it's all happy. But every time they hit 24 months, so 2 years, that's when we're going to get rid of our beef stock. Now, thinking about this, I think the first calf comes at 27 months. So my problem there is I need to get these to 27 so I get some calves. Then I can sell my original ones. Now, I probably should have planned this out a little bit better, where I had some like breeding stock and then moved them over into like a pen of some sorts to fatten them up, and then we can just sell them at 2 months. But because we need that first calf to hit, we need to wait till month 27. Because you can see that in month 18, they're going to start breeding. They hit puberty and start breeding, and then by month 27, we'll get our first calf. So there's no point in selling these at month 24 when they're technically in calf and we're going to be getting more cows. Because we're doing beef stock, we need to generate the calves in. So the plan is to always sell them at month 24. That's going to be our kind of aiming point. Yes, we could wait till 36 months, hit the maximum amount, for selling beef stock. But we're not going to do that. Yeah, we're literally just going to have to wait until 27. Now, what we could do is find another cow barn, for example, pasture, whatever it is, a shed for the cows. And in that, we could have our beef stock breeders. So the main stock that keep breeding out, put a bull in there, for example, even though we can't do that yet. But you know what I'm saying. We could put a bull in, have like maybe, 20 cows in there. And then every time we have 20 calves from there. And then we move them over to the fattening shed, which is this one. And then wait till the 24 months and sell. That's the ideal thing. And I think if we're doing arable as a focus, we're going to be having big points in the game where we skip forward in time. So we should be able to get through quite a lot of beef stock because of it, because focus is going to be the arable side. Yeah, I'll be doing a bit of grass work here and there as always, but I'm not going to hit that every time. As long as I've got enough feed to feed my cows, I'm kind of not thinking, right, I want to make some money off silage, so we'll just do that for the sake of making money. Making money and the focus is always going to be arable in this series. I think that keeps the ball rolling as well, makes it kind of productive as well. With me only doing one episode at the moment, I need to try and find a way of getting the ball rolling a lot quicker. Anyway, let's have a quick chat about the moisture on the realistic weather mod. So I was doing some testing before I started this episode. I spent a few hours actually doing this, and I noticed that the moisture mod is just not working for me. Well, I say moisture mod, it's the realistic weather mod by Arrow. It's just not working for me on this series, on technically on Calmsden or Oakbridge. It's just not happening. What I was finding is the moisture goes down to completely zero, like it's 0% moisture, and then I skipped time. I was like going all the way through past winter and everything, and even though the mod has so many good things to it, it's offering me the fog, which looks amazing, the snow, the change in like tires and how they work, so the physics of the tires in certain weather conditions. It also shows animal footprints now as well, so if you've got a high-end system. So there's loads of benefits to that mod, but the problem is the moisture side of it just does not work for me. So I removed it originally thinking I can't go with that, but then I decided, no, I want to play with it still, but I'm going to go in and see if I can change some of the coding just to, take out the moisture side or just make it so it doesn't have an effect on me. So if I just jump over to this field here, field 10, we can go and have a quick look at it. So what I technically did, after doing all that testing and just seeing that it hits zero, then in the winter we'll have a bit of rain, it goes up to like 2% moisture, drops back down to zero. Then eventually, I think after like all the winter months and spring months, I might get to about 16, 17%. And then before you know it, I'm back down to like zeros, ones and stuff. And it's just not going to work because the perfect moisture for some of them were set at like, well, for example, sugar beets set at like 40% and, the grain and everything's around 20. And I was, at best, if it had snow, hail, rain, everything, I was hitting 20%. So I think it might depend on environment because I've spoke to a few people in my Discord that are playing on different maps and then maps have a different environment to it. They're getting too high moisture, so it's not coming down. So I do think it's dependent on environment. And because of that, I think it might be a flawed way of doing it. If you look at like seasons of old and the way that did it with that moisture meter, it was tied into the crop, not so much the ground and weather. Yes, obviously moisture had effect with the weather, but with that it was just a handheld meter, and then it was tailored a little bit more to make it, user friendly, let's say. So currently the moisture just does not work for me, and it's not worth the hassle, but I want to keep the mod. So like I said, I've done a bit of changing in the coding. I've now made it so the ideal moisture is 1% to 99%. So yes, the perfect moisture from that will mean it's 50%, but really it has no effect. I'm always going to get the same yield. As long as I hit that 1% mark when I do harvesting of grass or anything, I'm sound. I'm going to be okay. Because if you look at it now, in the bottom right, it says my current yield percentage is going to be 192%. Well, that might sound like a load, but it's actually just what you get base game because I'm already at yield bonus of 92%. Now, if it was at 100% yield bonus, that technically means that I'm getting double, aren't I? Because I've hit the extras, done the full fertilizer, prep the field. If you get 100% yield bonus, that means you've doubled it. So that would be 200%. So with me being at 92, you can see that the yield bonus is at 92%, and then I'm getting my current 100% and then the 92 on top. So this is like pretty much what I'd get if I didn't even have the mod on. So I like the fact that I can use this mod now. I can still have the weather effects, we can still have like the fog and the snow and the blizzards and all that good stuff, but the moisture's going to have no effect now. So I just wanted to point that out. I have changed it and made it so it's user-friendly for me. But one thing I did notice, and I'm going to have to put this up now because this sounds super interesting. As I was going through the coding in the mod by Arrow, I noticed a couple of lines of coding that were basically referring to if there is some mods activated in your game. Now, one of them is the info display mod, which we know of. That's already on ModHub by another modder. But there was one that stood out to me, and it's kind of got the same naming as what Arrow does with his mods. And it's a mod that's not come out yet. So I think I found that he's working on a mod. This is just a guess, by the way. I don't know for certain, but I've tried to find this mod. It's not out now. I've not seen anybody that's kind of working on it. I think this is a mod that Arrow's working on that's not yet dropped. But keep an eye out for it, and it should be called, I'll put a picture up now of the coding, but it says Realistic Livestock Mod. So not sure what that's going to be, but by the name, it's going to be to do with, obviously, animals and the livestock. But I'd love the idea of this. Like, I have too much hope for this. It's not healthy. I've mentioned before about the fact that I really want to get, in the game about, just an improved system for animals. Now, Arrow's obviously working on some amazing stuff. Yes, the moisture side of it's just not working for me, but the idea of this mod, it was really good, and probably the most excited I've been for a mod in a long time, and I've spoke about that. But to see that code there, that line of code that says if basically this mod is loaded, realistic livestock, just makes me think, well, what's this? When are we going to see it? So keep your eye out for that. I'm just calling it out now. Realistic livestock mod by Arrow. Keep an eye out for that, because there's some line in the code there, and it's got the same naming, same kind of style and naming that Arrow would put. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Anyway, enough faffing. Let's get into the episode. We're in August. We've combined the fields. We're going to be planting in wheat into that field, so there's going to be a big wheat field. We can't plant in until September time, so same for the barley, so we're not doing any of that. Our sugar beets are growing quite happily, but we can't harvest them till October. So really, right now, we're kind of stuck. So I decided just to jump in, sell some bales, and also get some workers going and start some grass silage work, because it needs to be done. We need to get the ball rolling with this. So let's start this up and get the mower hitched up to it. I'm trying to think, will it be all right on this 185? I'm hoping so. There's so many tractors I want to use and different pieces of equipment, but I just haven't got the money. But there's like all the JTBs that Ross and Mods have dropped. I kind of think this would be the perfect series for it, but just haven't got the cash at the moment to kind of start it off and give myself a harder task than there was needed. But we'll get it done. We'll get there eventually. We'll start improving, because that harvester straight away. We need a better harvester for these size fields, and I think now that we're combining, we just got to. It's like a must. But let's do a bit of mowing, just because it's good money. Oh, don't want to do that. There we go. And we're going to sell these silage bales here just to make even more money. And I'm thinking I might just focus on the small field in this episode, get that bigger one done again in between this episode and the next, because I'm only doing one episode on this series this week. So I think let's try and do something from start to finish. We've mowed this a few times now, but it is a good sized field, and we also get quite a lot off it. But we're just going to be doing this for profit. We've got enough feed. We don't need anything. We don't need silage. We don't need anything like that. We are literally just doing this for profit. Alright, so AI worker. Now, I've seen a mod that dropped today as I'm recording this, and it's a really good idea, but it automatically now takes off the line. So if you're doing a straight and you've like a couple of seconds into it, you're already using guidance steering, it'll stop the lines, and it won't it's less. It helps to not break the immersion as much, basically. Where's he going? Shall I shut the gate? Is he going to have a moment? I don't know what he's doing here. I mean, as long as he's chopping grass, I'm happy. Look at the... He looks happy enough. Anyway, let's... just making sure he's not hit any corners. I don't know what he's doing, I'll be honest. He's worrying me with that wall and that tree, because it's not an easy place, this... You just coming down here, bud? Yes, he is. Right, that's that then. So, from that, we're probably going to need the windrow, because we're just going to be doing silage bales, so we can drop off that spreader. We don't need that. But let's get this ready. And then when we've used the John Deere to take the bales, we can then use that with the baler, and we should be good. I need to get a round baler at some point. I'm really just doing a lot more square bales than I'm used to. In 22, I probably always did round silage bales, and then maybe square was a mixture. It was like a 50-50 split for square or round when it comes to like hay bales. But straw, I always tried to do square bales. Preferred the larger square bales. If you're doing an arable, most arable farms have the kind of bigger balers when they're doing the straw, whereas most dairy farms or people that, farmers that are making feed usually have a round baler. That's the way I've always kind of known it. He's having a mare down there. He's having a bad day so far. How did he only get to that point? This, again, absolutely just not clever. Not clever at all. I'm hoping he notices. He seems like he has. I mean, ideally, I'd love to just remove that out. Can I remove this one out? That is the question. There we go. Let's just get rid of that. I know it doesn't look as good, but we can't be doing that, can we? We just can't. And even though that's not our field, I'm going to put a fence in. It's going to cost me nothing, luckily. But it has to be done now. It has to be done. We just want a bog standard fence, really. I mean, we could use Oxy's. Yeah, let's use Oxy's, actually. Or even put a hedge in. So let's say... See, the land is not owned by us. That's the problem. Right, it's just going to have to stay out then, unfortunately. Until we do own it, because we do want to... you never know, we could own this and make a bigger grass field, but I can't. I just can't. I can't have that fence hindering me anymore in life. It's not fun. Unless, thinking about it, we could technically put this in. Because we can drive through that, so it shouldn't actually impact on collisions. But now it looks better. Happy days. And also, we don't need an entrance going that way, do we, anyway? Because that's not our field. There we go. But still found an issue. Still found an issue. I'm hoping he understands and notices and reverses. There we go. Come on, boss. They're my mowers, mate. They cost money. Stop scratching them. What's wrong with you? Bloody faffing about, lad. Come on. My days. This worker, he ain't getting paid much, and there's no bonus for this, I'm telling you. I tell you what, we're going to do this ourselves. Right, we're going to start the mowing ourselves. Or we'll get to, selling the bales, but I just can't watch him. It's painful. It's absolutely painful watching him struggle in every corner. So we're gonna crack on here and at least do the first headland and just get him going. And he should notice that we've done the first headland and then kind of carry on. That's the aim anyway. But my God, was that painful. That was very painful. Right, so I made a wise decision. I went to Courseplay, set it to do like 4 headlands, start on the inside, and off we go. Now, I don't have to worry about it. It might mess up on that last headland pass, but at least we've gone and done that headland pass. But no, I couldn't watch that anymore. It was insane. It does not like this field at all, the in-game AI helper, which, by the way, in guiding steering, works a treat. But the AI worker, at times, not always, just at times, is problematic. But, it doesn't matter. The ball's rolling. That's the main thing. Right, let's have a look at these bales then, because we're going to go sell these, generate a bit of cash. We've already got rid of the excess straw bales in the last episode. And, yeah, the field's pretty much ready to start planting in. It's going to be a good harvest that time, this one. But there we go. All of it should be fermented. 6,500. Got plenty of silage bales up there as well. So that's not bad at all. And I think it's going to be 1 trailer load. It should be perfectly 1 trailer load. There we go. So if we just bring up that, put it into... Right, there we go. So we're ready to rock and roll. We just need to go and check the price. So yeah, 222 is the best price. We've got Cotswolds bales and also the garden centre. So really... But we've also got 224 at the biogas plant. I mean, we could go to the biogas plant, but nah, I'm just going to go straight, get the money instantly. I mean, Cotswolds Bales is probably the best place because I can actually drive directly through my farm and go all the way to here. So yeah, let's do that and then turn off at field 26. That's the best idea. And I want to just have a quick look at the feed down this way, and also just showcase like what I've got in stock, because I've got a lot of hay bales up at the other section. I've got a few straw bales here, and I've got my silage bales, so we're doing fine for that. And all we have to do is just keep feeding our cows on this area. So don't have to worry about, you know, anything too much. In the winter, we'll bring them in, put them in the shed. From that, we should get some muck from it, and then some slurry, because currently we're not generating any manure or slurry whilst they're out in the field. Brilliant mod came out today, much needed mod, which was place fences anywhere. Basically, we can just put them anywhere. They can collide through objects now, and it's so much easier to have that mod, because now I can actually put a couple of fences out. And I've also made sure that the gates can be placed down and turn that way without it saying that it's colliding with anything. So I've got this section here now all fenced off. So technically, when they're in there, that's it. You know, they can't get out. So I think it looks much better. And we'll start getting muck as well from this point when they're indoors. Now you can see that I've renamed my cow sheds. So I've got it a bit more organised now. We've got beef stock, we've got milking indoor, and then milking outdoor. And that's pretty much where we're at. So the outdoor one will still produce milk. It will produce slurry because it had to, but it stops at 1. So it's because there's no storage area for it. So it's not realistic. So it's just at 1. So yeah, we're pretty much sorted with that. We just need to keep giving feed, and obviously I want to be better than just meadow because it's only 40% productivity, and I think it's actually got quite a lot. You can see that 33,000 already. It doesn't need to consume it because I keep putting hay and silage in because I want to get up to 80% productivity whilst they're producing milk. But at some point we're just going to keep getting cows. We're going to buy them in at like 18 months old, so we keep producing milk. And I think, you know, every now and again, we'll just buy another 5. In fact, we could buy another 5 now. Let's quickly do that. Because 10 cows is not much, is it, for milkers? So let's buy maybe 5 more and pay for the fee as well. There we go, £6,000. We've now got 15, which is a big improvement. Let's just have a quick look at the worker, see if he's doing all right. Looks good to me. Thankfully for Courseplay, we're not having any issues this time. But let's go sell these bales. It's going to be more money. So that's why I didn't mind spending 6,000. I know I'm trying to generate a lot of cash just to get a new harvester. But I didn't mind doing that because, you know, we're going to be making quite a bit of cash from these silage bales anyway. Come on, we need a run up. Even with this big John Deere, we need a run up for this. I wonder how many people have actually played the game and struggled with this hill. In fact, this is a good attempt. You know, we've not dropped down too much. 40 miles an hour, I'll take that. Perfect timing on this dude. Come on, mate, it's a sell point. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever got stuck behind a person at a sell point. There's a first time for everything. There we go, 40,000. That's pretty good, isn't it? It just goes to show silage is just king. It always will be. It always will be, and it's brought us up to 200,000, so not bad at all. Another great mod. There's so many mods coming out on ModHub at the moment, but there's one that changes, it allows you to change how you see in the cab, and it saves as well. So, like, if you wanted to go higher up, like you can see now, like let's say I'm like 7 foot and I'm like I can't see very well, then yeah, you can do that. I mean, that's really just put me off. But you can also go down, so if you wanted to, and now it'll save there. But yeah, you can find like the sweet spot for it, and I just really liked it and thought I'd point out. I'll put a link in the video description. I've actually forgot the name of it. Typical me faffing about, but I will put a link to that because it's really good and it's dead easy. It's just a mouse. It's just the scroll wheel on your mouse. So like go scrolling up and down to change, you know, the height basically of where your eyesight is. So, you know, I'd probably want to be about there, which is minus 0.08 from where it's already set. Then if you hold the shift key, you can also change how far in and out you are. So that's normal. But if you wanted to come further out like that, so like I'm 0.06, and now it'll change, now it'll save to that. So every time I come back to this setup now in this John Deere, I'm always going to be set to here. I do think I'm probably a little bit too far away on that though, I will be honest. So maybe just like 0.02. But I really like it because sometimes as well, some mods that you get, they're a little bit off, aren't they? The cab cameras. And having that mod's just so much easier because you don't have to go and change anything in G. You can just in-game on the fly change it, it'll save, and then, you know, you're good to go from there. But I just wanted to point that out, that it might get overlooked, that mod, but it really does offer something unique and quite helpful. Yeah, we definitely need another shed, don't we, for the beef stock. We can't just keep selling our like breeding it. We're supposed to be breeding out and making money. We need to store them somewhere. So, I mean, there is quite a few sheds, really. Let's just have a quick look, because, I mean, we've got the shed that's storing for bales. We've got this one that's quite large for what we're doing. I mean, we could just technically keep them in there. We could store, you know, both in one shed. But I like the idea of having two separate sheds. So let's just have a quick look to see if we can find something like this, for example. 60-odd thousand pounds. Even this one, this looks really good. I like the look of that shed. We can put 25 cows in there, and that's a perfect amount for breeding out. But the problem is, say you put 25 in there, you can't then get 25 off, but I really like the look of that. That is pretty cool. That's got to be an MA7 shed. It looks like a Nathan shed, to be honest, with them gates, the unique style, but I really like the look of that. We've also got this one with 35, so let's say you put 20 in. You need to be able to double it to hold the same amount of calves that come out. So, but I like the size of that, because technically we could just fit that, you know, up here, out the way. And, it wouldn't restrict too much, would it? Like, you could probably get it parallel with there and just kind of dig into the side. I mean, that could be an option. 35, though. I mean, how many would you want? You want probably like 20... Maybe 20, so we need up to 40, don't we? So we want one that can hold 40. There's this one that's 82. Don't mind that one. That's not a bad size as well. How much are these cheap ones? That one's got the right amount. And that's not a bad size as well. So I like the fact that that's a unique drive-in as well. I mean, technically, you could add that too. Where's the driving in that? Let's have a look at that again. It looks like the feed's in the centre. You've got two doors. So if you put that, for example, like right up, let's say you made it flush, turned it round and made it flush there, you could drive through it still. Will we have enough space outside? Maybe. I mean, we could technically put it here. And then if we wanted to get through, we'd have to drive through the cowshed every time. But I mean, it's not ideal, is it, that? That definitely isn't ideal. So, yeah. That's going to be a tricky one. Really, what you want is one that's got just a backside to it. So, nothing too major in size. And one that just kind of runs flush against the back of there. So, I'd have to do some terraforming. I mean, that holds 50. And that holds 50. 60 on this one. Looks like we got two. That's not a bad one as well. I mean, you could technically put that there and still have enough space. We're going to have to do something, though. I think we'll look at it. We'll look at it closer to, but yeah, we need them to get to 27 months, and then I'm going to just have to keep them and let them keep breeding out. Maybe we could sell a few. How many have we got in there? We got 20. So yeah, we wouldn't need to sell any. We'd just keep all 20. and let him keep breeding out. And then from that, 2 years later, we'd sell our first beef stock. Unless we buy another load now just to fatten up. Not sure. Anyway, let's just get in here. I mean, looks like he's probably on his second out of 4 headlands there. So we're getting close. Not sure what he's doing. It's a bit of a weird turn. Yeah, that's got to be his second headland. Got to be. I mean, pretty much. I mean, majority of the field's done. I'm going to use guidance steering for this. I'm going to test out the mod that's dropped with it automatically kind of disappearing. And I think 2 headlands works for me. There we go. Yeah, interesting to see how this actually performs. There you go. It's automatically gone off. So if we get to the end of this and then just, deactivate it, or it's done it automatically there because it noticed we got to the end. That is a really good mod. How cool is that? Super useful and much needed. I'm not sure what this guy's doing. Do you know what? I think it makes sense now just to finish this off herself. The mowing has been a nightmare with all workers. Like, I don't know why he's trying to reverse so far away, but he's not happy at all. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll stick it on a time lapse. I'll get this sorted out. Stop the faffing, because these AI workers today are not happy. It's like they're all on strike. The dreams that only came to pass them by. Here's to the broken man who stood and walked when he heard you can, 'cause it shows me that faith is more than sight. Here's to the wandering child looking for a star to guide, pushing through the darkness of the night. Hold your hand up to your heart. I know it's just a chance to start. I know that it might feel like it's too hard. Oh, love is where you are. Just know that love is wherever you are. It will never be too far. Oh no. The time to watch, grab a hand and make this day our march. Pulling down the walls we cross, fighting through the wars we lost, looking for the day when we have won. All you need. This whole world doesn't see
Someday we could all be free. We could change the world if we would just believe. 'Cause faith and love is all you need. This whole world doesn't see. Someday we could all be free. Yeah, we could change the world if we would just believe. Oh, love is where you are. Just know that love is wherever you are. It will never be too far. Oh, no. Oh, love is where you are. Just know that love is wherever you are. It will never be too far. Oh, no.
Yep, that's all I got.
Right, looking good, looking good. That's that field sorted out. Do you know how many times I've been in this field recently, even with it, with it being my small holding crop field, and yeah, with this I've done a load of times grass field. I find it easier to do this field in a video kind of length, the standard length, than the massive grass field over there. But it's done again. We've got more silage bales to sell eventually when they're fermented. We're just going to keep rocking through, but I am going to get the ball rolling with the other field now. I'm going to use solely courseplay and workers for this. I'm going to use courseplay for the rowing, and it will be easier, hopefully less collisions, and then we can follow this courseplay along with the baler after. But not bad at all. I'm glad I've got the Ford now, because I use that for doing the wrapping. We've got the baler up here as well, so that can follow on after, and you can see that the case is out in the field mowing, and I'm just going to kind of leave that to do its thing. Hopefully, start of the next episode, I'll have a lot of silage bales to sell. We're going to sell them all, so that'll pump the money up. After we sold the harvest, so the barley income, we should be able to get a harvest. So that is the plan. So come January time, we want to get a harvester after we've sold the barley. So it's weird because I've got barley in two locations now. I've got it in that silo, but I've also got it sitting in this shed from the second field we did. Now, what we could do is we could just bring it all into here and see how much we've got, sitting basically on the floor of the shed. That would be pretty cool to do, because then I can... Well, I'm probably going to have to lease out like a wheel loader or a telehandler at least. I mean, we've got the front loader attachment for the Massey, but we need a telehandler at least. Yeah, at the very least, we need a telehandler. But I could attach to the trailer and get all that barley and put it into here and just have one kind of like location for it. That is a plan. We've also got the sugar beets to do soon, so we'll see what comes first. But I think we're probably more than likely going to skip through to September and then get the wheat planted in. Because that field, now, looking at it, doesn't need anything except the section that's combined 5 and 7 together. So if we have a look and go to the growth, you can see that that's just saying it's stubble tillage. But we do need lime. And if we have a look at the fertilizer, you can see that we've just got a tramline area where we fertilize, which is going to be interesting, because what I want to do is kind of make it going up there, connect that bit, so on and so on. Hopefully that'll be all I need. It's a shame about this section here. There's going to be a tram line that I don't need now, because really I just need to connect them up. So what we could do next time round is not mulch maybe this section, I don't know. Or we just kind of mulch it all, but don't direct seed, recultivate, and then plant again for the third time round. So that'll be like third harvest. And then from that, we should be able to generate new tram lines. But I think the best thing to do at this point would be to just kind of drive up and connect these whilst we're doing the spraying to make new tram lines that reach across, and kind of do it like that and make them our passes. And that's probably the best bet. I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure what else to do. Not sure. But we do need to get a cow shed. We do need to get a cow shed. We need to get a harvester in January. We need to try and sort out the beefstock, making money from that and have it a bit more efficient. But no, I was looking at the crop calendar mainly just to see that if we go into September, we can start planting in our wheat because it matches the barley up there. And sugar beets aren't going to be till October. So we could just kind of, next episode, do planting. The episode after that, we can start work on the sugar beets. I think that's probably the best bet. It's just a shame I'm only going to get a chance to do one episode on this series this week. Just like, the small holding. I've also got a list of videos that I want to make. Like one of them is kind of just a tutorial that I did last time around. It's just like a little how-to video on how to like remove objects in maps and stuff. Because I know a lot of people have asked me to do an updated version of that. I did it for 22 on Calmsden as well, just showing you how you can remove objects in GE and how you can remove like stuff like the parked cars and things like that. Because sometimes because most of the time they're hidden and you can't see them. But I was just going to talk through that. So if you did want to, for example, move this wall or even the wall over there, in that video I also want to show how to remove collisions. So maybe you want to keep this wall but make it have no collision so you can drive through it, or it doesn't impact, like I've just seen with the AI worker. I could do that with that wall around that field really, and I think I should do that. And in fact, I'll do it when I make that video, and then from that going forward, I'll have it so, it's not going to impact any AI workers. It won't keep causing the issue out in this episode, because I think it'd be a good idea. I could also take the collisions out of, the telephone, the power lines, that are sitting in that field up there, because they're going to potentially cause issues depending on how a course player or the AI worker works that out, because I've made the islands quite wide because I wanted it to try and help when doing the courses, but we'll see with that one. But anyway, I think we're going to leave the video there. It's been a good one. Spoke about a lot of things. Big shout out again to Lancey Boy, sending over his grain shed pack, which looks really good. And also, keep an eye on the mod by Arrow, because I've, not sure, nothing confirmed. Just a little bit of, I was lucky really to see it. Just kind of put two and two together. But who knows? Looks like we could be getting realistic livestock mod, whatever that is. Don't know. But might be completely wrong. Might be just something that was an idea, got binned off. Or it could be a mod that's already out and I'm just gone blind and can't see it. I don't know. But if you've got an idea on that, let me know. What do you think that means, seeing that coded in his mods? My guess is it's a mod he's working on and we should see soon. But again, nothing confirmed. It's just my opinion on that one. But on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up for me, because that does help me out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator. See you, everybody.